Okay, so we've made PNG layers. We've talked a bit about layers in the images. Let's talk about editing. So in our editor, we have our edit window, as we went into before, but this time we'll go through the rest of the edit window. It's quite extensive. So starting here on the left, you have your images that you're working on, my group. So that is currently I only have one picture there. If I was to go back to my show and I wanted to add, let's just say we wanted to add another one in here. I'm just going to go down to my plus, add new slide. I've added another blank slide. There's nothing there. Like I said before, there's a checkerboard. We'll jump back into our editor. Now I've got two here. So that's in my presentation group. So I could go to this one. It's just gray. There's nothing there. And it's the default. Remember when we said default, it would take the default theme or template. And my default just has text in the middle. If I click on that, I can bring up my text options. It's very similar to how you might use PowerPoint or any other presentation software. So here on my right-hand side, I've got all my different options. So right now I've clicked on a shape, and that is what's called my container for the text. If you've done any web development or anything like that, you'd be very used to using containers. However, it is the same here. They do call them containers, and I'll show you some settings that reference that a little bit later. So we'll go through shape. You can position it on your page. This is moving the entire text container around on your page. So it's the same as the text. You can center, side, all those kind of options are here. Nice and for you. Nice and easy for you. I'm just going to center that there. It moves your positioning around and all that kind of stuff along with it. You've got transform controls, opacity controls, so you can make that dimmer however you want to, and that will affect how it interacts with the background. Now, one thing to note positioning, you see it says 150 by 100. Now, what that means in video, your positioning is usually always taken from the top left-hand corner. So that's that mark there. So if I was to zero that out and went 0, 0, this will move to the top left-hand corner as its main position. So if we grabbed it, moved it around, you see those numbers jumping all around the place because it's reading it from that top left-hand corner. Now also as I moved it, you'll see the snap guides, all that kind of stuff that should snap to the middle and to the center there. So it's nice and quick to be able to snap things into position for you as well. And your sizes and everything are there. So my image I've already made is 1920 by 1080. I will make that full. And as you can see, I've made that full. It's going off my actual slide because it needs to be at position 0, 0 because it is the same size as my whole presentation. So as I go through the rest of the settings, you got your fill, stroke, shadow, feathering, visibility. They're all pretty self-explanatory. You can turn those on. It'll give you different options. Fill is your background color effectively for what you're going to do with that slide. Now here, our big plus, we did it last time, but here's where you can add text. You can add a shape. So I could add a rectangle, my little blue rectangle. Let's just leave him here. Obviously, as you can see, you can move him around, change the colors. Again, it's a shape, same settings. They will change based on what object you're clicking on. I could add another piece of media like we did with that PNG layer. I could add another text box like I already have active here as well. It's really up to your imagination what you want to do here. And then if we go into text, I can go into my text and I've got all my text options. And there are quite a lot here. You can do quite a lot with what you actually have available in this. Here, this is where I referred to the container before. So with your text, you can have it automatically scale up to fit down and fit within that container and move with the container. So if you select those different options and then you play it around with the size of your container, you'll actually see the text moving in and out with it and doing whatever it's meant to do with whichever option you select. So the rest of this, you have your colors, bolds, underlines, all those kind of things there, all your standard centering options. And positioning. Again, we've gone through all this, strokes, shadows, lines, all that kind of stuff. So that's all there and that works really well. Here on our final one, you've got build. Now this actually adds in lots of transitions. Now these kind of cool, funky transitions, some of them are actually really awesome. Some I'm not sure how I would use them, but you never know. These are actually really cool and these will give its own little video and we'll go through what all these do. These you can build into a particular slide in terms of how that transitions in or out, that kind of stuff as well. So that's a really cool new function of ProPresenter 7, which wasn't previously there. Now the next thing here is you got your rulers. It's very much like PowerPoint or Word in terms of what you can do there as well. Now the last thing to mention is down here you've got your objects. So I've put a rectangle and I've got my text box. So if you want to quickly flip between multiple options, you can hide them, you can lock them in place so people can't change them on you. These are really good options down here. As you can see, it's gone gray because I've locked that. If I unlock it, it goes white, which means it's now editable. So if I'm happy with where my positioning and all that kind of stuff is at, I would actually probably lock it if I never want to change it again. So there's some really quick ways to flick between your different objects. So if you've got ones that are over the top of each other like so, and you can't figure out how to click on the other one, remember there's a little objects list here, which gives you the different options there as well. Now another quick thing just to add, as you notice down the bottom here, we actually have two little buttons which kind of hold, and one is slide notes and the other one is show. So show will actually kind of preview your image on your output. So it will actually show you what you're working on if you need to quickly see it live on a screen. So I can click that. I won't see anything happen here, but on your output, wherever it's going in the room, it could be a projector, it could be a TV, it will show you what you're working on. And then slide notes. If I went into here, I can actually add some notes into my slide. This is a slide note. And it's really helpful for other operators who might come along, and you can just add a quick little note in terms of a page and it will show them, it might give an explanation, it might show them what to do with that slide, things like that. So they're really handy if you need something like that as well. So the last thing I want to show you is just here, you can add new slides, and this is where you can also apply quickly a theme to an individual slide if you want to. So it doesn't matter if you've applied a theme to the whole presentation that's come in, you can quickly jump here and add a new theme to the slide or an independent slide or something like that. Just a quick way to get there if you need to. So that is everything for the editor that I'm going to show you now. It'll give you a good understanding of how to use it and what to use it for. And next we're going to talk about some reflow editing and things like that as well. But have a jump in, play around with the editor, use different bits and pieces of functions. I think everything should come fairly naturally to how you would usually have your workflow in ProPresenter.